I've got the beauty, got the brains, got the power, hold the reins. Hello to all my wonderful ancient dreamers. You're watching a new series. No, it's not a new series. I've been doing this for a little while now, haven't I? You're watching a series called ElliXia's Discography Dives, a series in which we dive into the discographies of some of my favourite artists. Currently, we are looking at the discography of none other than Marina, formerly known as Marina and the Diamonds, but now just known as Marina. And this is the last entry in that series. Once again, I apologise for being so late. I have no excuse other than that it was really hot the week I was originally going to film this, and then I kind of just didn't do it. I would love to have a good valid reason, but it's just who I am as a human being. It's kind of funny because with my Kylie series, there was 16 videos in that one, and I got them all done on time, with the exception of one because I was a bit ill, but I otherwise got them all done on time. This has been 5 episodes, and for whatever reason, it's taken me a very long time, especially when you consider it was meant to be in the lead up to Ancient Dreams in the Modern Land, which came out on the 11th of June, so nearly 2 months ago to the date. But of course, in reviewing the album now, I've lived with it for 2 months, so maybe my opinion is a little bit more educated because I've had time to listen to the album and live with it. And of course, speaking of Ancient Dreams in the Modern Land, this is the episode we finally review it. Yes, Marina's 5th album and most recent album, released on the 11th of June 2021. I have to say I have been loving this album for the past 2 months. I've listened to it quite a lot. I've had it pretty much on repeat when I'm doing housework, when I'm doing whatever. I've been listening to it loads. Today's look is also inspired by the album's general aesthetic as always. There's a lot of sort of greeny blue turquoise. I feel a bit like an ocean princess at the moment. I mean, I haven't got mermaid legs, but I feel very much like I'm one with the sea. I feel very salty and very dehydrating? I don't know. And so without any further kerfuffle, let's dive in to this album. First and foremost, this album is a huge step up from Love and Fear. If you watched my previous video, you'll know that I'm not the biggest fan of Love and Fear. Maybe I was a little bit harsh on it, I don't know. But I definitely think that Ancient Dreams in the Modern Land has got Marina back on track. At least, like the way I like it to be anyway. Of course, I respect Love and Fear. It's an album she wanted to make at that time. And I think she liked it, I think she was happy with it. So that's really what matters at the end of the day. This album on a whole, I feel like it's sort of an album of 2 halves. We've got one half that is very sociopolitical. There's a lot of talk about shitty governments. There is talk of feminism, there's talk of environmentalism as well. And then the second half of the album I think is a little bit more personal and it's a little bit more emotional. It deals with a breakup. There's a much softer and sort of tender side to the album towards the end. However, it isn't like it's an album strictly of 2 halves. You know, I think the different sides blend together quite nicely. I think also on the whole, this album does a very good job of sort of marrying the Marina that we knew from the Family Jewels and the Marina that we knew from Love and Fear. Some songs could easily fit on either of those albums, I think. So let us start at the beginning. It's a very good place to start. Track number 1 is the album's title track, Ancient Dreams in a Modern Land. Try saying that 5 times. Ancient Dreams in the Modern Land was a single as well. It was the 3rd single released from this album back in May of this year. It's very thumping. I love it. It's got quite a rocky edge to it. It talks about, it's rather existential, which is nothing new for Marina, but it's sort of more our place in the human race. She longs to go back to a time that's, well, ancient. The clue's in their name. And there are lyrics about what our purpose is in life, as well as not necessarily following those purposes as well. You don't have to be like everybody else. You don't have to fit into the norm. You are not here to conform. And I think it's a really good opening song. There aren't that many Marina songs that I think make for good gym songs, but I think this is one of them. Not that I would know, because it's been a very long time since I went to the gym, and I can't really use the panty D as an excuse anymore. On to track 2, we have the album's 4th single, Venus Flytrap. This was released couple of days before the album came out, and quite a few sort of remixes featuring different artists have also been released as well. Venus Flytrap is classic Marina. This could easily be on Family Jewels or Electric Heart, and I don't think you have to change it at all to fit in with those albums. It works really, really well. Why be a wallflower when you can be a Venus Flytrap? Great lyric, just brilliant. It's very confident, it's very ballsy, and it's very much, look, this is where I'm at in the industry, this is where I'm at my career, and you're gonna fucking live with it, all right? It very much gives that sort of message about having thick skin and not letting the patriarchy and all those horrible people owning you. This song has teeth, which is appropriate because it's a Venus Flytrap. I love the lyric, don't underestimate me because one day you're gonna see you're in a losing battle, babe, you'll never stop me being me. I'm like, yes, that's very me. If this album came out 10 years ago, trust and believe. That would be all over my social media. It would probably be my Tumblr name, because I think at this point I've moved on to Tumblr. And I'm definitely somebody who feels underestimated at times. So the lyrics still ring true to me in this day and age. The video is also really cool as well because it kind of pays homage to Marina's previous eras as well with the stylings. Pretty much every album is referenced, but quite subtly, not in a really in-your-face, here is a reference to my old work kind of way, but in sort of like a, oh yeah, I get what that's meant to be. On to track number 3, which is Man's World. Man's World was the first single from this album, and it was released back in November of last year. We even heard a little preview of the song actually back in the spring of last year, just before the Pamela-demic threw the world into chaos. So I think this song was meant to be released earlier than it ended up being, but we got it in the end. Man's World is great. It's straight up, it's very straight to the point. It addresses feminism, it also addresses homophobia as well. The video is great. The cast entirely comprises of both females and non-binary people, and I really like it. I was very happy with it, because if you remember my Love and Fear video, that bite was missing, and I love, my favourite kind of Marina is when she's on her sociopolitical soapbox, and so when Man's World came out I was like, yes, nature is healing. And I actually think Man's World works really well because the sound is quite subdued. Even though to me it sounds very classic Marina, it's instantly a Marina sounding song. It sounds a little bit Love and Fear-ish in some ways, so I think it's a nice transition into the album we have before us. And it's also very true, I don't want to live in a man's world anymore. I 100% wholeheartedly believe the world would be a better place if we all just embraced our feminine sides a little bit more. But that's a different video, isn't it? Moving on to track number 4, we have Purge The Poison. This was also a single as well, released in April of this year. Purge The Poison is very, is it grunge? I'm not an expert on grunge, so I could be wrong there. But it's very rocky. I don't want to call it grunge because I know somebody's going to be like, it's not grunge. I'm like, well, whatever the case, it's a really good song. This is like Marina on her sociopolitical soapbox, but the soapbox is like very tall. Soapbox is like a skyscraper. It also has lines from the perspective of Mother Nature because we are effectively destroying the planet. Not just with global warming and our carbon footprint, but also with our society. 2020 definitely brought a lot of prejudice out of the woodwork, I thought. It's always been there, obviously, but a lot of people became aware of it, and there's loads of reasons as to why that was. Loads of events happened that caused that, so I'm not going to go into that because, you know, you're already going to know. And definitely during this Panasonic, we've really seen the worst in some people as well. Just loads of nasty, horrible things that people have sort of come out and said, and very horrible behaviours, even from when before it really started with the whole toilet roll gate. I feel like I'm going on a little bit of a tangent here, but basically the point is, when Purge The Poison sings about needing to almost reset on society and get rid of the stuff in our system, our societal system, but like, if you use a image of like, imagine society as a human body, it's like we've got all this poison in our veins and we need to get rid of it. I think Purge The Poison's great, honestly, and there's obviously so much work that needs to be done with society, and that's another video for another time, I guess. But I really like this song, and I think it makes a very good point. Anyway, after that rambling, we go on to Highly Emotional People, which is track number 5. This is actually personally probably my favourite song on this album. Bold statement, controversial statement possibly, it might even be my favourite Marina song ever. Or no, not my favourite song ever, but one of my favourite Marina songs. Like top 10, maybe. Haven't lived with it long enough, but I really, really love it. When I do my makeup for these videos, I always listen to the album that I'm reviewing, just so I get in the zone and have the album fresh in my mind. I've listened to Highly Emotional People like 5 times, I think. I kept just hitting rewind on it because I was like, I just love this song so much. It talks about being openly emotional, being in touch with your feelings, and not being afraid to do so. It does address this problem that a lot of men have, where they feel that they can't express their emotions. We know this. It's hard for a lot of men to speak up about their mental health because they don't want to be seen as weak, or because society makes them feel a way that they can't speak up. And that's very sad, and it's a very important issue, and I think Highly Emotional People handles this really, really well. But yeah, I think it's a stunning ballad that makes stunning points. 10 out of 10, easily, for me. On to track 6, we have New America. My first thought when I heard New America was it's kind of like Hollywood from the Family Jewels, but a dark version of it, like a sad, pissed off version of Hollywood. Yeah, when Marina said, "I'm obsessed with the mess that's America," she was not lying. New America is a very critical and almost scathing take on, well, American society. And you might be thinking, well, who is Marina, this girl from Abergavenny? Who is she to talk about America? But she does live in America, and I think she's lived in America for like a good few years now, so. And I also feel like with America, even if you don't live there, like I've never been there, but everyone, I feel like, has an opinion on America in some way because it's such an influential country in the Western world. And so this song definitely addresses a lot of issues. There are some harsh truths. Nothing about this song is sugarcoated, and it addresses several issues that American society has, which actually I think is appropriate for other places as well. It talks about white privilege and, you know, colonialism, stolen land. Kind of similar to Purge the Poison. It's a bit like time is running out and history is going to catch up and it won't be kind. Kind of like a hybrid between Savages and Hollywood, I would say. If the two of them came together and created a love child, New America would be the result. On to track 7, we have Pandoras Box. Pandoras Box almost feels a bit Electra Heartish in terms of, I think, its lyrical content, not so much in terms of how it sounds. It discusses a breakup in which Marina's been hurt quite a bit. It's almost a warning of, you know, you've opened Pandora's Box, you don't know what you've just unlocked. And it's like, oh shit, you know, messed with the wrong person and it could potentially be dangerous. And what's great about Pandora's Box actually as well is that the lyrics almost like point to like destruction and danger, but the song itself is very tame sounding and it's very calm sounding, and it's just a bit like, I think it might be a bit of a calm before a storm. On to track 8, we have the song I Love You But I Love Me More. Now I love this song. I mean, I love Me More, but again deals with a breakup. This one is less tender. It is a little bit more aggressive, but it's also, it feels a little bit resigned actually to how bad this person is and how horrible he is. There's talk about leaving to basically save your own sanity and save. It's in that situation of like, I do love you, but I can't be with you anymore because it's just gonna ruin me if I stay, and I need to leave for my own mental health for my own sake. I think it's done very well because there's almost a bored sounding element to this song where it's a bit like, ugh, I'm just fed up of this relationship and I need to get out. I think it's executed very well and it's got a great title as well. It's definitely, when the track listing was unveiled, I was like, well, this is definitely a title that's grabbed my attention. On to track 9, we have the penultimate track, which is Flowers. Love, love, love Flowers as well. It's really soft. It addresses a situation in which a relationship was good, but the significant other wasn't fully embracing her and he basically let her slip away. I think the song is really well done. I think it's very lovely. Marina's voice sounds really delicate and gentle. There's a very bittersweet element towards it as well, because it's like, it's sad that we're finishing, but I can say I tried, and it's better for me to leave than to be stuck in this situation. Yeah, let's talk about careless actions, and after you made your choices, I melted away like snow. I also love the line, you like lying to yourself and now I'll never know which parts of your love were for real and which parts were for show. I think it's really, 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 really well done. Could absolutely see this in a live setting being like the showstopper, and the phones in the air moment, but also one of those, you know, there's moments in the concert where like you could hear a pin drop because it's just so like, everyone's like, wow, very that. And onto the closing track, we have the aptly titled Goodbye. It is not a Spice Girls cover, unfortunately, but it's a very lovely ballad. Again, similar to Flowers, it has that sort of bittersweet element. The lyrics sort of centre around finding inner peace and, again, sort of knowing that this relationship may have ended, but it's probably for the best. There's an element of liberation there, you know, the lyric, I will never be yours again, that could be sad, but it could also be very like a relief. And it's a very mature way to end a relationship, to move on. She wishes him all the best and has no bad feelings, basically. I particularly love the lyric, I've been a mother to everyone else, to every motherfucker except myself, and I don't even have any kids. Like, I think that's great. And I understand that feeling as well, of sort of like, I'm giving my all to this one person and not look after myself, and I need to break out of that. And I think Goodbye is a very, very good way to close off the album, because it has that, again, it's that level of inner peace and that level of moving on, closing a chapter. So all in all, Ancient Dreams in a Modern Land is quite a short album. There's only 10 tracks, and I think it clocks in just about sort of 34 minutes-ish. So it isn't a very long album, but I do think it's short and sweet. Possibly it could outstay its welcome if it was a bit longer. A problem Love and Fear had for me was that it was a little bit too long. One or two extra tracks on this album may benefit it, but I think it's really good, and I think for me it's definitely Marina back on track and back on form from Love and Fear, and I look forward to seeing what comes next. As of right now, we are in August of 2021, and this is definitely one of my favourite albums from this year. It's too early to say whether it is my album of the year, because of course there's still another 5 months of releases before the year is over, so who knows? But I definitely prefer it to Love and Fear. Think if I was ranking Marina's albums, Electra Heart is my personal fave. Fruit is objectively better, but I would put Electra Heart, Fruit, then I put Ancient Dreams, Family Jewels, and then Love and Fear. I think Ancient Dreams is a great return to form, and I really, really like it. Basically like a classic Marina record. If you wanted to sum Marina up in half an hour, I'd be like, just stick this album on and it basically will do the job for you. And so that ends this brief series that lasted way longer than it needed to, because I didn't have my shit together. Apologise to my 4 fans who like regular videos. I'm very sorry. My next Discography Digest project, I've actually got that one all planned out. That one's going to be the Sugar Babes. And that should be starting at some point in the next few days. I'm not putting any time frames. It's because I do that. I'll be like, join me next week, and then it's like 2 months, 2 months away. But I have a Sugar Babe series planned in the lead up for the reissue of One Touch, which comes out in October, and I'm very excited for that. I'm very excited to be able to actually like pre-order new Sugar Babe material again, like, oh my god. And so there's the one Discography Dive series closes and another one will open very soon. So thank you very much for your continued support and I hope you all have a lovely day. I've been ElliXia Q Valentine. Stay safe, get vaccinated, do it, and be good to yourselves. Have a lovely day. I've been ElliXia Q Valentine and please don't forget, book me because you can now. Mwah.